Dear brothers, never forget who you are. You have been anointed not for yourselves, but for Christ and for his people. Not for comfort, but for mission. Not for privilege, but for service. The holy oil with which your hands were anointed on the day of your ordination was not merely ceremonial. Not it was the consecration of your whole life. You have been configured to Christ, the Good Shepherd. You have been called to stand among God's people as signs of His presence. And therefore, I say to you today, with fatherly affection and personal urgency, be faithful to your ministry, be prayerful, be faithful in your prayer, because without prayer, the priesthood loses its soul. Be faithful at the altar, because you stand at the very heart of the church. Be faithful at the confessional, because there the mercy of God is poured out upon wounded souls. Be faithful in preaching the gospel, because our people have the right to hear the truth of Christ proclaimed with clarity and love. Be faithful in charity, because the poor, the suffering, and the forgotten must always find a place in the heart of a priest. Be faithful in holiness of life, because the world still longs to see in its priests men who belong to God. Yeah, brother priests, the church today does not simply need more priests. It needs holy priests. Priests whose hearts are rooted in Christ, priests who are disciplined in prayer, priests who are inwardly free, priests who are compassionate, priests who are faithful, priests who are humble, priests that are always and always faithful.